Yo, it is another edition of the High Hopes podcast. The Phillies just won an all-time World Series game, one of the best wins in franchise history, one of 6 teams in the history of the World Series to come back from a 5-run deficit to win. Edition of the High Hopes podcast, Jack Fritz. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Like the most tense experience I've had maybe in my life. Like, they won that game, man. 3 more, Topper. Like, what happened tonight, Jack? You were in the building. What happened? Tell me, man, because I still can't believe it. I promised Emily I would be quiet. Emily, I'm so sorry. I'll keep it down from here on. But, like, holy bleep and bleep, Jack. They won. They won.
They won, buddy. Dude, how do you let the Philadelphia Phillies come in to Minute Maid Stadium and take that game? How do you, as a self-respecting baseball team, let that happen? I have no idea, dude. I have no freaking idea. Down 5-0 early with that fraud choker, Justin Verlander, on the mound, who will be a great Philly next year. But at this point, blew a 5-0 lead at home, James. At home. What are we doing? Act like you've been there before. I mean, seriously, what an embarrassment. And like, yeah, dude, I honestly think I'll 2-0 tomorrow. It's the greatest thing that's ever happened in my entire life. But at this point, dude, I don't care, man. They came out of Houston with a split. They came out of Houston with a freaking split, which is all that we could have asked for and freaking more. I am so happy. I don't have much of a voice. I thought like I was gonna get beat up all day, dude. I've never been in a fight, like full disclosure, like never been in a fight.
Oh, we know. Everyone knows you, Jack. That is not a surprising statement.
Not a fight guy. Yeah. I thought I was getting in at least 6 fights today. Like, people were not happy.
At what point you did text me, I'm talking too much bleep.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, dude, man, that ballpark's an embarrassment. Let me just get that out of the way first. That is a little league ballpark, a minor league ballpark that the Phillies should never be afraid of going in and playing. They just came back from 5-0 down. This team never dies, man. They never die. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of this freaking baseball team. What did we, dude? James, can I ask you one question? I think buddy. This is like the most simple question I could ever ask you in the entire existence of this podcast. Who the hell are these guys, dude? Like, who?
Not the Phillies, dude. We know, buddy.
Who are these guys, man? I don't get it. I don't freaking get it. I don't get it, man. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. What a win. What a freaking win, man. How do you let them win that game? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Well, who would have thought, like, with this run that we've talked about is this magical run with more moments packed in than multiple runs combined usually have. And, like, so many great games and 9-2 and 5-0 at home and all this stuff. Who would have thought that we would get to the World Series game 1 and have the best game of the postseason? Like what, Jack? Like, and again, like that is an all-time baseball game. I said it before, but I was yelling and maybe you didn't know. It's like 6 times in the history of the World Series, a team has come back from a 5-run deficit, Jack. And how about the fact that we got 7 shutout from the bullpen? Like the Astros bullpen as advertised. They're awesome. It's insane that we scored 1 run off them. And thank you, Dusty Baker, for not going to them earlier and leaving Verlander in for the 3rd time through. Like, brilliant, man. Like, Topper was running circles around Dusty Baker. And I will get to that. But, like, dude, like, the fact that the most shocking thing that happened tonight isn't the fact that they came back from 5-0 in and of itself. It's that the Phillies bullpen shut them down for 7 innings, Jack. Like, what? Robertson, has there ever been a more stressful inning in your life? That honestly, the game itself may be the most stressful in my life. And that David Robertson inning, the single most stressful inning of my life, Jack.
Dude, how about this? Listen, I think it's the right call. I can't freaking believe they called that in that moment. It is such a big call. It's a game changer. It took Diaz completely out of the at bat.
It was so did you get to see the TV copy yet, by the way? Because it is absolutely the right call.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Jack, let me tell you, and everyone who's listening you watch on TV, which is probably the vast majority of people right now, dude, he absolutely leaned into the pitch. There is no question at all it was the right call. Honestly, I thought the pitch was a strike. The wrong call was making it 3-0 instead of 2-1. The pitch was a strike, dude. Like, he absolutely leaned into it.
Good. In the ballpark, I was shocked he made the call. I was like, wow, that takes stones. And I just like there continues to be little moments, man. That's a little moment. The Castellanos ball that bounced off second base, jerks and Profar, the check swing. Like, when you're talking about magical runs and you're talking about team of destiny and you're talking about everything coming together at the right time, this is what we're talking about. Like, they had a feel even before the Padres series of like, they got something here. They might got something. And tonight, that call in that moment was just insane. And I can't go. I can't. Like, I simply can't go any further into this podcast until I just say that I don't think I've seen a manager as like on a heater as Rob Thompson.
Well, it's like Francona in 2016. That's the only one I can think of, and they didn't end up winning.
I think Cora in 18.
Cora in 18, and Francona 16, like with the Andrew Miller usage and all that. But like Topper, I mean, dude, the way he managed that game, he managed it was like it was game 7. Dude, he managed game 1 like it was game 7, dude.
I kept saying to myself, and I was talking to Giglio, and by the way, shout out to Joe Giglio. I you know how like in the ballpark together with you and I always turn to you and like stream of conscious, like,
oh yeah, buddy.
Everything is like I can only talk to one person. Like, I do not want to talk. I love Ike. I love Johnny Marks. I love those guys. I need to lock in on one person. And tonight that was Joe Giglio. But like, I just kept turning to him, and I was like, dude, like, they have to win this game.
Yeah.
Because if they don't win this game, who the frick is pitching tomorrow? It's fine if you win it, because then it can just be like Wheeler and you figure out the rest as you go and you have a chance to like step on a throat and go up 2-0. But if you lose it, then it's like, I don't even know who you're going to tomorrow. I mean, sure, Alvarado would have been fine. Sir Anthony might have been fine. I don't know.
No, I think Alvarado for sure. But other than that, man, you go deeper is the point, you know?
Dude. The Astros are going to like Abreu and like, well, Luis
freaking Montero and all these freaking
like all these guys.
Panic. It's like they made a whole deal. He's only pitched 2. He had the lowest ERA in the history of the team, and he's pitched 2 postseason innings before tonight. It's like it's insane. These guys, dude.
And meanwhile, we're pitching our game 3 starter.
I know.
Out of the bullpen. Like, shout out the Ranger, man. Like, shout out the Ranger.
Yeah,
like,
got big outs. Big outs. That Jordan strikeout was huge, dude.
All of these guys are stepping up at the right time. Like, all of these guys, like, dude, they have reached the maximum, like almost the maximum potential of what we believed in them heading into the season. You know what I mean? Like,
Jack, more.
Like almost a 98th percentile, James. Yeah. Almost a 98th percentile outcome they've reached in the World Series. And like, dude, shout out to JT, man.
Shout out to JT.
Big double. And then he gets the go-ahead home run. I mean, I wrote this down on my notes. It's in the take bag, but bleep it, I don't care. Like, dude, every single guy in that starting lineup has had a moment, man.
Yep.
Every single guy. Like, and tonight it's just like, who's gonna step up tonight? I don't know, but they're gonna be fine. Like, dude, if you go 1 through 9, every single player in the lineup has had a moment. Like, what a run, man. 11 years. We waited 11 years for this, James. We waited so freaking long. And in one postseason, we have had a lifetime of memories. We're going to remember the 2022 Phillies for the rest of our entire lives. This is insane. They just went into Houston, came back from 5-0, and took that place over, man. They took that place over.
Yeah,
God, what a night.
Jack, this is the my favorite run of my lifetime. Like, and I don't even know how it ends yet. And it's my favorite run of my lifetime. We are baseball guys. This is our favorite sport. And to have this team after as long as it's been just all of a sudden become our dream baseball team. The team we always did high hopes asking for. And just a great team that comes through when it matters and plays smart baseball. And how about to your point about the things that are going our way? How about stuff that normally would be an absolute killer, like the Altuve little bloop, and then stealing second base and not getting that call, and that throw by JT, oh my God, dude, he was safe. I think it was close enough where you can't overturn it. Even if he was out, you couldn't overturn it. But not getting that call, it's like, of course we lose that game, right?
Yep,
we
100%.
lose that game all the time. The Robertson inning, the wild pitch, boom, single. We lose the game. That always happens, man. And not only are we getting these little weird things that happen, and also big hits, to your point, like JT, obviously, he had the double to tie and the freaking homer, a unreal night. But Bohm had that massive hit, that whole rally, the 2-out rally, another 2-out rally from this team, another one. It's just, it is hard to believe watching it that it is as magical and that everything is going the way we want it to. We never win that game, and it was in the World Series in front of the world, man. And we won an all-time World Series game, Jack.
All-time World Series game.
Yes, seriously.
Dude, and again, I couldn't be more blessed. I'm just, and I'm not trying to rub this in, I promise. But which is the moment of my postseason? The Reese homer.
Dude, how could it be? Well, it's not. It's between two. It's the
Harper homer. It's still the Harper homer.
It still is, but this is the game of the postseason that you were at. The Harper homer's the moment. This was absolutely the game. This is the best game of the postseason, without a doubt. This is the best game of the entire postseason. Of all the games that's happened, this is the best one.
Dude, I gave myself another headache, man. I really did. I was in the ballpark. By the way, I don't know if you could tell, I had a couple beers early. And then I'm
having a Miller Lite right now. Shout out to Miller Lite, presented by Miller Lite, official partner of the Philadelphia Phillies. The 3 wins away from winning the World Series, Philadelphia Phillies. Thank you very much.
I found a Miller Lite, man. I found one at the ballpark.
Nice.
So that was a massive win for me. I was nailed it. This is obviously a sign of destiny. But yeah, dude. So 6th inning on, I couldn't have any more because I was just I'm gonna give myself a heart attack here. I'm just gonna keel over. I'm just being completely honest with you. Didn't feel that intense in the ballpark. I'm sure
really. Oh my God.
I actually think it felt more intense on TV. Because
it was so intense on TV, Jack. Let me tell you, it was the most intense baseball game I've watched in a long time, maybe ever. It's up there.
That crowd just has no juice, man.
Wow.
I know it's Minute Maid Park, no juice. They got absolutely.
Look at what you did there.
No juice. And I told them that all game. I was like, you guys have nothing here. You guys, they have no idea what they are walking into at Citizens Bank Park. You and I have been to big moments.
Ooh,
you and I have been to massive postseason games so far this season. And I'm just telling you, watching standing room from both of them, incomparable. Absolutely incomparable when it comes to the loudness and effectiveness of the crowd. They wouldn't stand and cheer until there was 2 strikes, man.
Dude, and even then, at the 2 strikes towards late in the game, the people behind home plate weren't standing. It'd be 2 strikes, 2 out, and an Astros pitcher on the hill, and they weren't standing behind home plate. I was like, what are they doing? They're just hanging out, just sitting at a baseball game. The last game we went to, the Harper Homer game, people didn't sit the whole game. We were you had to kind of move your way around and find angles to see. It was horrible from a seating perspective because no one wanted to sit down. It was crazy. In the rain, no less, by the way.
In the rain, no less. James.
Jack. Buddy.
They are 3. They are 3 wins away.
I'm like you, dude. I can't
I know. There's it
I'm
continues.
hyperventilating right now.
I know. Deep breaths.
I know.
And the more and more you watch them, it's like, wow, man. We're gonna look back on this run. Hopefully it ends in a world championship where it's like, that was different. That was different. That was different. And like think of all the games and all the moments they've had so far. And then just double that with coming back from 5-0 against Justin Verlander. And I was telling people all day, like, and you know me, like I hate when the whole city goes in one direction because I get nervous.
Well, I saw your tweet. I thought it was a great tweet. You encapsulated what I think a lot of people are feeling. I'm nervous about how confident I am. Like I felt the same way. I was like, I'm so confident. I'm like, but this, like, the Astros are really good. Yeah, and the Astros are really good. I've watched them. They're a good team. Like, I shouldn't feel like we're just gonna like wax them, but like I'm like, we're great. It's crazy.
But and by the way, real quick footnote here. Once again, not only did the Phillies make it back to the World Series before the Yankees, but they beat the Astros in Houston. It's pretty impressive. I mean, what a
how about Jack? Show. How about beat the Astros? Period. The Yankees couldn't do that this year.
Clown show up in New York, but like all day I was just so nervous. I was like, stop giving me the Justin Verlander stat. Like, stop. I can't hear it anymore because it's like it's going to come back to bite us. And like,
totally.
He didn't allow a hit for the first 3 innings.
And he looked good in doing it. He looked good in doing it too. It wasn't like fluky. Like eye test wise, it was like, oh, he's got it tonight.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, dude, like, here we go. Like, Nola gets kind of hit around a little bit. And here goes Justin Verlander. He's going to have one of those FU performances where he's going to go 7 shutty and, Phil's going to lose and it's going to be heartbreaking because they've never won a playoff series where they don't win game 1. So it's like, oh, well, now we have to create team history here. And Justin Verlander just did what Justin Verlander does, baby. I mean, in a World Series game, dude, like, how do you call yourself an ace? How do you call yourself the pitcher of this generation and blow a 5-0 lead at home? A 5-0 lead at home that's embarrassing, dude. I know Cliff Lee blew a 4-0 lead, and I get it. But that's 5-0. Later into a game, I'm pretty sure.
And Cliff Lee's also had some unbelievable World Series performances on his resume too.
He drugged the 09 Phillies to the World Series by himself, pretty much.
He won the only 2 games in the series.
So that is just for an all-time great. And for as much as we talk about, Clayton Kershaw this, Clayton Kershaw that. I mean, Justin Kershaw over here, that's embarrassing. And James, I said this after they made the World Series. Give me Justin here. Give me Justin here. I need it. I need Justin Verlander at Citizens Bank Park because I got to tell you, buddy, not going to end well. Not going to end well.
Well, imagine it. I mean, there are multiple scenarios that could play out where it's Justin Verlander having to save Houston's season at Citizens Bank Park, potentially. So
how do you let the Phils win that game?
Again, dude, honestly, and I love this team and I believe they're going to come back and all that. But when they went down 5-0, it was just me and my buddy Tommy. My buddy Tommy, we were watching together because I couldn't go out. I couldn't obviously I have to like lock in. And it was like a morgue with us. We're like just kind of sitting there in silence, being like, and like, just like, man, we're like a lot of time left, man. Those like things you say, a lot of time. But I was like dead inside, Jack. And then I was like going into that inning, I was like, I even tweeted it. I was like, must score inning. And then it just
did you tweet need 7 here? Man. Did you tweet need 7 here? It seems like a Seltzer tweet. Hey,
yes, very generic. It needs 7 here 3 minutes after they scored a touchdown I didn't know about, more likely. Yeah. No, man, it was just at least on TV, it was so insanely tense. And when they came back, and then it's just the dueling bullpens, and it's like, no way our pen's gonna outlast their pen, right? Like, that'll never freaking happen. Like, all these guys are insane. It's like all these guys are Sir Anthony. Like what it like, you know, can Sir
Oh,
Anthony just pitch forever? Can Alvarado pitch forever? Like it's just but let's get to top real quick because we mentioned it, but like for him to manage that game that way, Jack, and look, and I think he might could have even pulled Nola earlier potentially, but Nola was able to settle back in and all that. But like to go to Alvarado that early in the game, to
I know.
go to Ranger, who is presumably the game 3 starter, to go to Sir
Eflin.
Anthony in that spot, Eflin, then Sir Anthony, and then obviously Robertson didn't have much of a choice there, but like, man, he just again, Topper's done it all playoffs. He's just managed for the kill. He has gone aggressive, and as we've talked about, it's been a magic touch. And look, I do think, now they won. Wheeler tomorrow is pretty exciting. But like I do think, if they start Wheeler, it might be a different game. Like Nola wasn't great, but Topper managed around it, man. Those guys fought back, but Topper's moves just kept him in the game, and he managed aggressively. And again, I don't know if I ever remember a manager managing game 1 of the World Series like it was game 7. I honestly don't remember that.
Well, I think the big thing is, I feel like he learned from game 2 in San Diego. There was some talk of, would you bring Alvarado in that spot?
Yes.
In the
Good
5th.
point, Jack. Yeah. And he went
brought
to
Alvarado.
hand. Yep.
He brought Alvarado in the 5th. And he kind of, was like, all right, I'll do it here. And I'm such a big fan of him just coming in and be like, we're going to kill this inning, just like kill it right there. And then deal tomorrow. And like, dude, and how about the Stones of bringing those guys back out for second innings on
every time, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them, like unbelievable, dude. We've talked about that so many times, but he knew these guys could do it and could handle it. And they were fantastic in those spots. Like every single guy was like, all right, Alvarado, get through the inning, come back out, get me an out. All right, Ranger coming in, get through the inning, get me an out. But, Sir Anthony come in, get out of the inning. Go. He did it with like what, 3 straight
Eflin
guys.
did it too.
And Eflin did 2 4 straight guys. Like that's nuts.
It's nuts. And we'll give all the credit in the world to Rob Thompson, but also shout out to those guys, And
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that has happened to this baseball team is that they believe in Rob Thompson, and they're like, that guy believes in me. I can't let my team down here. And I think that's the biggest thing that has changed when it comes to creating a winning mentality and creating a winning culture, is that they are sitting there and saying, I can't let my teammates down. I thought
totally,
that,
dude. Totally.
like, how
that's
Nola
the culture
talked,
stuff. That's
yes,
the culture stuff.
How Nola talked in game 2, which he blew out in San Diego. He was like, it was like the most honest and pissed I think I've ever seen Aaron Nola. And he talked after the game of like, I let my team down tonight. And these guys have such a bond, such a connection, that they don't want to let each other down. So they're starting to step up in ways that we didn't know they could. And I think that's the most impressive part of where we're at. Ranger talked about after he didn't pitch well down in Atlanta. He's like, I feel like I let my team down. Goes to, pitches in the San Diego series, pitches great, comes in tonight, or first off, closes out the NLCS.
Yeah, 2 days after starting, or a day
and then
a
comes
half.
in tonight and just shuts down the middle and goes after Yordan Alvarez. Like, really, really good plans against Yordan Alvarez tonight. They didn't have a chance, or they didn't have a choice in the 10th, because it's like, we got to get Robertson in this game.
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, Alvarado, bringing him in, and then having
Ranger.
Having Ranger ready for him as well. So it's just like the collective belief in these guys, and when Rob Thompson calls their name, they're like, I can't let them down, and I can't let that guy down. And I think that's been the biggest change. And again, I just don't know what team we're watching right now, dude. Like, I don't know who these guys are.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing. And we've talked about it, but I think it's the single biggest thing that we didn't know. We didn't know until we saw them celebrate in Houston. Ironically, Houston, right? When they clinched the playoff berth, like, we didn't know that they loved each other like that. We didn't know that they had this bond and this chemistry and this, vibe going. We didn't know. And then we saw that celebration and we saw Dancing on My Own and we're like, oh, like that's fun. Like, oh, they're fun. And they love each other and they're like gonna have a good time playing baseball. And then as the moments have gone, you've seen them like this galvanizing force coming together. And I honestly, I bring it up all the time, but like I think it's the most important thing that has carried this team forward. It's why the 2017 Eagles won a freaking Super Bowl. Like sports are all about belief and motivation. And like first of all, there's no bigger motivating factor than no one believes in us. Like we talk about all the time, but that matters. Like we're the underdog. Us guys in this locker room are playing for each other. And that is a motivating force. And then on top of that, to your point, dude, that these guys, like the way they carry for each other and talk about each other, and we've seen it in so many instances. You brought up a few, but like after the Hoskins play in Atlanta, the error, non-error, Zach Wheeler blamed himself. Zach Wheeler said, I should have, threw a pitch that he could roll over a little easy. He's like, I should have struck him out in that spot. That's on me. Like, that's clearly not on him. And he's taking that blame. When Bailey Falter sucked in the San Diego game, he went to the guys and started apologizing. And Gene Segura's like, no, man, don't apologize. We're a team. We pick each other up. We do things like it's been throughout, like even something as little as Nick Castellanos catching the NLCS last out and giving that ball to Bryce Harper. Like so many guys just stick that in their pocket or whatever. And he's like, you deserve this, man. Like you're the reason we won this. Like it's just like these guys are playing for each other. It's selfless. It's seriously though, like, and we know that's what happened with the Eagles. And it's funny because it does, like, it's the only frame of reference I have for anything that is close to this type of thing, where everyone in Philadelphia believes in this thing and believes this team is going to beat these teams that everyone thinks is better than them, but no one else believes it because you like have to be here for it. You have to feel it and see what's happening. And I feel like this team is that type of vibe, man.
They are. And what makes it even funnier is that for a city that doesn't exactly experience the most winning ever.
Yeah. Twice in my
sure
life, Jack. Jeez.
I know. Well, yeah. We sure know when it's coming, right? Like, and I'm not sitting here saying the Phillies are winning the World Series. Like, I believe me, that game was stressful. The Astros are really good. I can't do it. But we've talked a lot about little moments and difference making moments, and when you see a team having a team of destiny moment, what it looks like. And this run right now, you just mentioned it, is so similar to the Eagles run, even down to the team they're playing in the championship. Two cheaters.
Yeah. You're right. America rooting for Philadelphia. When does that happen?
And model franchises in like every other essence, besides the cheating scandals.
Yeah.
And just this like David versus Goliath, and everyone, all the national experts saying, yeah, they're not going to win,
Yeah.
like they're not. This is obviously the Astros' time. They're going to get the job done. Little old Phil's just going down to Houston and getting a job done.
Oh my God.
Getting a job done. How do you let the Phils win that game? How? That's embarrassing. Again, the Astros looked like the team that hadn't played in the World Series before. They looked like that team. Meanwhile, the Phillies, who everyone was calling losers 3 weeks ago, came back from 5-0 down, had big moments after big moments, never stopped believing. And what we're seeing again is just, you don't see this very often, and it's hard to like totally capture, what we're witnessing right now. But don't take it for granted, because this is the stuff of legends.
Yeah, Jack. No matter what happens, it's going to be a hell of a video yearbook. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, listen, thought about it already.
I mean, dude,
I need a video yearbook on just the playoffs, man.
I know.
Separated into two: the pre-September, the pre-September Phillies, where I can feel the pain and the heartbreak and like what a waste of my life. And then fast forward me straight to game one out and say, the Monday in Houston. And let me just experience this all again. This is all-time. This is an all-time Phillies run. An
Yeah, it's an
all-time Phillies
all-time
run.
Philadelphia run, Jack. Like
Yes,
it's an
100%.
all-time, like
100%.
easily, like I said, man. It's my favorite of my life, and that Eagles one was pretty amazing. But like they were good all year, and then the Foles thing and all that. But like this has just been pure magic, man. The entire time, it's like again, I know we keep saying it, but it's like think about '08. We've talked about this, but think about '08. Like, you got the Victorino homer, the Stairs homer, the Victorino grand slam, the Blanton homer, the chase play, the rain game. Like, there's stuff, but like, we've got like 20 freaking moments. We've got all these, like, I did a highlight package for the midday show today. Like, Joe was like, can you just put together like a postseason montage leading up to the World Series? And it was like, I couldn't believe how many things I had to put in there because it was just like moment after moment after moment after moment after moment after moment. Like it's
Dude,
like it's breathtaking. Like it's stunning. Like I don't know what to say.
to put it in perspective, I don't think the JT inside the Parker is a top 10 Phillies
No,
postseason moment.
I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in the moment when I saw it. I was like, wow, I'm at a game. I am in the building for a World Series game where a catcher just hit an inside the park home run. Like, how unbelievable is that? You're right, man. It's like an afterthought now. Like,
How? How is that
how?
an afterthought? It's
How?
it's 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 something that we don't ever see. It's the first
I
thing.
know.
It's the
It's the only time it's ever happened.
what that's ever happened. And it's like, yeah, that was cute, but like, look at all these other moments, man. Dude,
Oh my
they
God,
just
dude.
they just won a game in Houston, a place that great teams have not been able to go in and win. They split a series. It's all we asked for. And Justin Verlander blew a 5-0 lead, and the Phillies bullpen didn't allow a run. Meanwhile, the Astros bullpen did. Again, I just don't think we're stating that enough. What we just witnessed down in Houston. How, as a self-respecting organization, do you let the Phillies win that game? How?
Like again, I don't have an answer. That's honestly, again, there's so many things that have happened this run where there's like no answer for it. Like it's just kismet and like meant to be. Like that's what it feels like. Like what amazing baseball analysis. Why are the Phillies going to win? Because it's meant to be. It's
It's meant to
destiny.
be. It's just
Yeah,
team of
it's
destiny.
just it's fate, man. Like I don't control
Get
fate. I'm
over it.
not God. Like whatever's gonna happen. Like I just it's so I'm speechless. Like I can't figure out the words. I'm emotionally like I have nothing left in the tank after tonight, and I can't wait until 8:03 tomorrow. Like I could go in and watch the next one right now. Like I'd be like, all right, and I got nothing. I'm cooked right now. I know it doesn't seem like that because I always bring the energy for the High Hopes podcast, but like I am dead right now. Like I have nothing left in me. And I can't wait for the next one. I would watch it right now. Like this is my favorite activity in my life. Like all I want to do is watch Phillies playoff games and World Series games. Like it's my favorite thing to do, Jack. It's my favorite thing, man.
Yeah, and as the more and more we talk about it, and the more and more we just revel in what we're watching, um, at the same time, like I've said this before, like they're gonna have better teams than this. Like on paper, they're gonna have better teams, but you can't recreate what's going on
Well,
right
they
now.
might not ever have a better run. Obviously if
Right.
they finish it off, but if they finish it off, win the World Series, like this is not like like they could win more World Series and never have a run like this. Like this is like an all-time
Yeah.
run, man, for
Yeah.
any team. Like it's unreal, dude.
Yeah. 1883 to
Oh my God.
2022, and
Oh
we're
my
having an
God.
all-time Phillies moment. Again, I just being there for it, and just I could just sense it. I could just I could feel the entire audience starting to say, this feels like a loss. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, I was like, oh, wow, it's so weird being on the other end of this.
I'll
I'm on
bet.
the other end of because
I bet.
from the when they tied it up, and then they got out of some big spots. Guys make made big pitches. I was like, are they really about to do this? And even when Robertson was getting tight, I was like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't really feel like a loss. Now, shout out to everyone that stepped up in my absence.
Oh yeah. By the way, people making live bets for you. People really, really showed up.
And shout out to them. Whoever made a live bet tonight, I put the bat signal out because I can sense it. Sometimes you just gotta have a feel. And I could just like sense like this is when I would usually do it. But since I'm stuck here in Texas, if they don't allow sports gambling, which is insane, I couldn't make any live bets. Of course, the night that I don't bet Maxey having 3 threes, he hits like 9. And it went for like 45 points. It's insulting. But everyone stepped up, man. Like, not only did the bullpen step up, not only did Rangers step up, not only did Nick Castellanos, a guy that we signed for his defense. Obviously, it's the reason why we're so excited to give him $100 million.
And had a big hit tonight. Like, believe it or not, had a big hit. Boom, defense and a big hit. I mean,
he stepped up.
The at bats, like just
dude. Stoddy's such a stud, man. Like Stoddy's
for a rookie to have those kinds of at bats in the World Series, like he looks completely unfazed. It's so impressive.
Yeah. But really, it's the listeners of this podcast that made live bets that made tonight happen.
I agree with you. Dude,
we are witnessing. Let me ask you this in a very, you can give your honest answer. Like you won't hurt my feelings. I'm just very curious.
Yes.
Would this team winning the World Series mean more to you than the 17 Eagles win the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Wow, that's a big answer. That's a big answer from you, Mr. Super Bowl over everything, Mr. Correct Sounder, which is now taking its way to 6 to 10 a.m., which I guess I congratulate you on here for. I know.
Who cares about that right now? The Phillies are freaking 3 wins away from the World Series.
I know.
Title.
I know.
But yeah.
Which, by the way, like in your future schedule, you're getting up in like 2 hours. So
tell me about
have fun,
buddy.
pal.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be pre-game naps, buddy.
Yep. So, dude, for you to say that, I don't mean this lightly. I think that's the most impactful thing you've ever said on this podcast. It's the most impactful thing you've ever said on this podcast. Now we gotta close it out. Like I won't be able to live with myself if they don't close it out after that statement.
I know. But it would, man. It would. Like, honestly, like, high hopes is our favorite thing. We always say that. Like, this is because we're best buds and we've been talking baseball since before we did the High Hopes podcast, since you were an intern and I was at another station and texting about baseball, and just we've always bonded over that. And then to create this thing that just feels so special and feels so right when we do it, and this community that's formed around it of people who love the Phillies like we do. And like we always say, like, loving the Phillies and committing to the Phillies is a freaking grind, man. Like, and certainly, the last month has maybe not been a grind. The last 11 years were.
It's been easy. It's
easy. It's unreal. So like, it means more to us. Like, this sport means more to us. The wins mean more to us. The living and dying with the team means more to us because we've been through it. We've suffered. And I know we had never won a title with the Eagles. And look, it's not to demean that title. That means it's one of the great nights of my life. Up until this run, it's the greatest. And look, if the Phillies still have to finish it, like they have to win it for this to be real. But like, as much as I love that, like, this has been to get to do this with you, to get to do post-game shows on WIP, to do like, more pods in the last month than we had done in like the 4 months prior, like to get to just, go on this run with this community that cares so much. They care so much and it means so much to them. Like, it's been really special for me, like in a way that as much as I love the other run, I can't say it was as special as this has been.
I think for the first time in my entire life, I think my mouth hurts from smiling so much. Like, I don't think I've ever. I'm not.
Man.
I can't. It hurts. Like, it hurts. But also, Simply
I'm
can't, dude.
happy, man.
I was leaving the ballpark, and I see all these Astros fans walking by, and I just kept saying, "How do you let the Phils do that? How do you let that happen in your ballpark? It's insulting. It's embarrassing. Loser stuff from that franchise.
Bunch of losers, man. Cheaters, losers, rats, all of it. All of it.
All of it.
All right. Feels like it's take back time.
Yeah. Can I lay
this
out?
is game one. By the way, can we really just quickly say that this was only game one? I feel like I'm literally gonna
I
collapse.
felt like a season. I feel like that was a season wrapped up.
Agree.
Into
It was like
that.
at least a series. At worst, we just watched the entire World Series in one game. It felt like.
So let me lay out for you the times I thought I was getting into a fight today.
Oh, love it.
Because again, I don't really understand why. So when I get here, obviously I'm wearing my Dutch jersey, which there's a lot of talk, the pregame video. Where's the Dutch jersey? Well, I felt like I can't walk into the press box, or I can't get a press pass wearing a Darren Dalton jersey. I wasn't sure they would give it to me. So I was like, well, I'll just wear the generic shirt, whatever. So anyway, so I show up and get to the hotel, and I'm downstairs, and this guy just turns to me and he's like, your jersey sucks. And I'm like, okay,
Cool.
Cool, don't care.
Thanks.
And then and I was like, okay. Either way, then we get to our Odyssey station down here, and they're having a costume party, and again, still have the Darren Dalton jersey on, and he's like, "Oh, you're dressed as a loser," and I was like,
"Oh my god!"
I was like, "Okay, I got it. Sure, cute." But anyway, then at the ballpark, obviously we're going back and forth, talking smack, whatever. And Christian Vasquez pops out, and I'm like, "See ya!" Getting over the top, sort of over the top.
Well, but that was a big at bat. So yeah, I would have done the same thing. Yes.
Yeah, this guy turns around. He's wearing navy. He's root for the team. I'm like, dude. First off, I was like, just watch the game. I don't have time for this.
Don't have a full on meltdown, guy.
Yeah, and I was just like a lot of loser vibes from the Astros fans tonight. Trying to turn, it felt like they were like, well, we're not going to let Philly fans out tough us. It's like, dude, first off, no interest in that at all.
Yeah. We don't need to pretend, guys. We got it. All right,
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, it was wild. And then so he started chirping. There's another guy in front of me. Like the Astros did something. He's like, he's turned around. I was like, you see that? And I was like, relax, man. Dude, I'm not. What are we gonna do? I hate it. Whatever.
Yeah.
So again, just bad fans. Straight up. Didn't appreciate Hector not allowing.
I know.
Didn't appreciate it. Yeah. I was like, come on, Hector.
But I will say, with the great hindsight take last week of I'm happy the Sir Anthony balling. Now that we won the game, I'm happy Hector did good. I love that guy. Only in hindsight, having won the game, obviously,
Right.
I want him to do terrible next time, obviously.
In the moment, didn't feel that way. Shocking.
No.
So, let's say Wheeler goes 5 innings tomorrow. How is Rob Thompson managing the rest of this game? Are we getting high leverage Pilati?
Yeah, I think Pilati, Alvarado for sure. He's probably his closer tomorrow. I think you could probably use Syndergaard if he's going to pitch game 4, a throw day thing like he did with Ranger, maybe like an inning. He did that before with him. But man, it's not a deep look. Brogdon looked good in the last outing. He did do a good job in that San Diego game. So yeah, Wheeler, give us some innings tomorrow, big dog.
Dude, I'm just saying, listen, I still would have started Wheeler. I think if Wheeler starts that game, it's not 5-0,
Yep.
Again, a hindsight take.
Super psyched to be up 1-0 and have him on the hill tomorrow. Yep.
Hindsight's always 2020. I don't know if you
Yep,
ever heard that saying before.
I have. It's a good point.
And now that I sit here up 1-0, wondering how the Astros did that, and let that happen tonight. Very glad Nola started the game so that we have Zach Wheeler going in game 2. Now, that is not an automatic win, which we saw down in Atlanta in game 2.
Yep.
But again, PSA, which we stated last podcast, do not freak out if they lose tomorrow.
Yes, we always wanted a split. A split was all that mattered. If it's annoying and they make an error or this or that, and they have it, they get a lead and blow it. Don't freak out. We're good. But having said that, like win tomorrow and like
a party in Philly on Sunday.
We're getting damn
party
close
in Philly
to
on Wednesday,
Saturday. Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday theoretically. So if they win tomorrow, if. Oh my god, dude! What is happening? What is happening? What is happening?
What are we doing here?
Oh my goodness.
So I wrote this down obviously in the moment, and I forgot what I meant. But I wrote down JT felt like I was gonna die, and I realized why I wrote that, because as that ball was going out.
Oh yeah, totally.
Again, much like my reaction to the Harper homer, I was like, no way, dude. Like, this kind of stuff just doesn't happen to us. And I thought Kyle Tucker somehow caught it. By the way, Kyle Tucker, terrifying. Just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. He is scary as hell, dude.
Pretty good.
And well, you know what? It looked like it was going to be the Kyle Tucker game, and it ended up being the JT Realmuto game. How about it?
But going back, caught it, or goes out, and it's just I didn't even I hugged some people, but I was still more shocked than anything. I was like, is this really happening? So again, felt like I was gonna die. And I guess my last take in the take bag is that they can play in Houston, man. I think if you come back, you win that game, that crowd's going to think about it. That team's going to think about it. And again, they weren't that loud. They weren't loud. And they had to basically be begged to stand up and cheer. So Phils are in a good spot. What a day. What a moment. I can't believe again they let the Phils win that game. What a night. What a night.
The Phillies were down 5-0 in game 1 of the World Series in Houston against a first ballot Hall of Famer, and they won the game. Like
against a future Philly, they won the game.
It is the least. That is the least Phillies sentence we've ever said. Like, this is not the Phillies. Like, it's buddy, I'm like, I don't even know what to say. This is Wheeler on the hill with a chance to go up 2-0. I mean,
this is high level fun times that we're having right now. Yes, this is ridiculous.
All right. Final thoughts before we get out of here.
Time to go up 2-0 tomorrow. I won't be here. But yet again, man, this team just doesn't lose when I'm in attendance. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be flying home. But we'll have another live podcast for you tomorrow after a chance to go up 2-0 in the freaking World Series, man. In the World bleeping Series. I'm almost been up for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
Almost there. But dude, I'm on such an emotional high. I am so happy. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. This flight home tomorrow is gonna feel like 18 hours.
Oh my god, it's gonna be horrible. Yeah, I think just for every Phillies fan, getting to 8:03 tomorrow is gonna be horrible. Like, being on a plane, I can't even imagine.
The flight down felt like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I was so bored. I was like, I just need baseball, man. But 2-0, man.
Dude.
Zach, buddy, please. I'm begging
Phillies,
you, pal. I'm begging you.
the Phillies have their ace on the hill with a chance to go up 2-0 in the World Series to head home to a place they're 5-0 at in the postseason and has been the biggest home field advantage I've ever seen in a baseball stadium. Things don't suck right now, Fritzy. They don't freaking suck. And by the way, I'll say it one more time and we will be back tomorrow. The Phillies won an all-time World Series game tonight, and it was one of the best wins in the history of the Philadelphia Phillies. God, let's go up to tomorrow. He's Fritz and Seltzer.